Hello students, in this video we are going to do the explanation of chapter 5 of your civics, and that is the local self-government in the rural part. So here let's first of all take the explanation as per the introduction of this chapter. It says we have the central government to look after us for the entire country, while the state governments take care of the states, which are the provinces of the country obviously. But at the local level also we have local self-government, which manages all the affairs in that locality or in the local area, and this is done through the local representatives in the locality. So local self-government has thus become an integral part of the three-tier system of our government. And what is the three-tier system? The central, the state, and then at the local level, or you can say grassroots level. So meaning of the local self-government, remember there are two different things. One is local government and one is local self-government. What is the difference between the two? That we'll be doing in the chapter as we come across that. So first of all, local self-government is an institution comprising locally elected representatives managing the affairs of the locality and providing them with basic amenities. So the people, those who are going to look after the problems, try to find the solutions for these problems, they are the people, local people, who will be elected as the representatives of the entire mass of the people and the entire gathering. And these elected representatives will go to the government officials, to the governments at the state level or even at the central level if the need be, to put up their problems, their demands, their requests to the government, and then accordingly the actions are taken and they are given the help, the grants, or whatever the step the government wants to take, and then accordingly the problems are solved. So we can say it is their duty to have proper representation of the problems and then managing the affairs of the locality and getting a particular solution for the whatever the problem has arose. Next we see local self-government and local government. What is the difference? So in very small nutshell, if we take the definitions only, we can see the difference. Local self-government is different from local government. How is it different? Because in local government, the administration of the locality is looked after by the government officials. They are appointed by the state government. Like we can say they have proper salaries to be given to them. They are not given any grants or any aids for their services or to get a particular work done. They are supposed to do a particular work because they are given salaries over there for that work, and they are appointed for that work. Like the patwari we have, the policemen we have, the village postmen we have. These are the people, those who are appointed on a job by the state government, and that is why they are given salaries for that. But on the other hand, when we talk about the local self-government, they consist of elected representatives, and these elected representatives are not given any salary from the state government. Rather, whenever the problems or the issues are taken to the government for sanitization, for providing education, elementary education, and other such problems which are disputes in the locality, then these problems are solved by the government. How? They give a particular amount of money as a grant, as a help, as a sponsorship, or as a particular aid for that particular problem, and that is looked after by these local government, self-government officials or the elected representatives, that the work is done and the problem is resolved. So these people are elected, they get the help, the grants, and they use that money for the you can say upliftment or for the betterment of their locality, but they are not given any salaries for that. Then we see significance of the local self-government. What is the significance? We can say that the importance or stresses the need for having such particular institutions are: first, these institutions provide foundation on which the entire democratic structure of our government stands, that we the people of India are the whole sole power, and when we get this power through the local level, at the local level, at the grassroots level, people get that power that they are going to elect someone who is going to put up their problems in front of the government, and then the steps will be taken, and they themselves are capable of handling their problems and getting it notified and then getting a solution for this. This makes them feel that they belong to the country, they have the power, and they have power to make people work for their betterment, for the locality's betterment, whether it is by choosing the representative or by getting the work or the things done properly by the elected representatives. Next we have the local institutions provide a training ground for local leadership. Those representatives who are chosen at the grassroots level, at these local village levels, they are the ones who, once they are, if you can say, they are totally very good leaders and really effective leaders, they grow in this way. They understand how the things are done, and from the village level they might come to the higher levels and might be even taken into the leadership of the state or other particular such levels. So that is how we can say these training institutions are those institutions which help people understand and take up the leadership qualities. Third, we see local people know their problems well and are best judges of their own needs. Why there is no particular local self-government officer appointed by the state? Because the state officer might appoint someone from the city and he will have to take up the job over there in the village. In that case, he is least bothered about the problems of the common people. Not even bothered, he is least informed about those problems because he does not face them on a day-to-day basis. But the people from there, from that locality, they are given this authority because the local people understand the local problems in a better way. If supposingly I have a particular thing in this my city, any problem, I might be the best judge to tell the government that this is the problem, you should take this particular measure to resolve it, rather than asking from someone from another part of the country or from another different country altogether coming and solving my problem, who doesn't even have this idea of what the problem is all about. It is no more means having anyone recruited or brought from outside rather than choosing the local person. That is why local self-government aims at proper representation by the local people, because they know who's an effective person and who will be the one taking care of their problems. The local institutions encourage self-help and voluntary services also, because through this people know that they are going to benefit themselves altogether, and that is why they voluntarily give their services, provide their assistance, and that can be achieved only when they know that the person leading is their local person who is really going to work for their benefit. And that is how these things work, and they are done in the proper association of the entire locality. Important points, another of them we'll do. These institutions lessen the burden and workload of state and central government. State and central government will never be able to come to the grassroots level and try and solve the problems. So for that reason they have got local self-governments, because these local self-governments are going to be the institutions which are going to notify them about the problems, about the issues that has to be taken care of. They are of matter and concern, grave matter and concern. So those issues will be taken up by the local governments, local self-governments, brought to the notice of the other government authorities, and then the government will make proper aids, proper provinces, or proper steps will be taken for those things. So in a way, government are notified about these problems through the local self-governments, through the elected representatives, and that is how the entire problem is solved and the government gets the name that they are working for the better of the people. After this we see next important thing is Panchayati Raj system was first brought into India at Nagpur and at Nagaur in Rajasthan on October 2, 1959. So this Panchayati Raj system that we are going to do in this chapter, what is it? It starts from here. It was followed first in Rajasthan, and then it was followed by Andhra Pradesh in the same year, and the real breakthrough came on 24th April 1993, because when at that time the constitution brought this particular 73rd Amendment Act into force. That is why April 24 is celebrated as National Panchayati Raj Divas, because from then this Panchayati Raj system came into being and was like followed nearly everywhere in different parts of the country. So we talk about this salient feature, which is the 73rd Amendment Act. What was the thing which was given in this particular act? First is to provide three-tier system of Panchayati Raj for all the states, those who have a population of over 20 lakh people. So nearly most of the states have. So all of them got this particular provision of three-tier system of Panchayati Raj. What is that three-tier system of Panchayati Raj? We are going to do that as well. Second is to hold panchayat elections also, and that to be done in the same way as the other elections are done, for after a regular interval of 5 years. Next is to provide reservation of seats for the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, women and other such categories, so that proper representation is given to everyone and nobody should be, or no particular community or section should be lagging behind. Next is to appoint state finance commissions to make recommendations on financial powers of the panchayats. They can make particular, you can say, state finance commissions recommendations to them about the financial powers of the panchayats. So what and how the money can be spent by them, and in what particular amount, and every particular, you can say, aspects of the finance. Next is to constitute district planning committee to prepare draft development plan for the district as a whole. So entire district has a particular plan, a drafted plan of development, and accordingly the localities look into whether the development work is done or not, and they can even tell the district planning committee what is done, what has not been done, which particular yojana is still not properly executed. So all those things can be looked after, and these are the communities and commissions and committees which are which has to be set up in all the states where we have the three-tier Panchayati Raj system. After this, we move on to the proper full-fledged explanation of Panchayati Raj system. So when we talk about Panchayati Raj system, first is it is a three-tier system. Now what does this three-tier system has in it? We see it has three parts. First is at the village level, very grassroots level, which is known as the Gram Panchayats or village panchayats. Second level is at the block level of many villages coming together, and that becomes a proper block, or the middle level, which is known as the Panchayat Samiti. And then lastly, we have even bigger than the blocks is the district. The entire district will be in your Zilla Parishad. So first is the grassroots level, Gram Panchayat. Then the second level is at the block level, Panchayat Samiti, and the third is the district level of the state, and that is Zilla Parishad. Now, when we are having elections for this particular three-tier system of Panchayati Raj system, we see qualifications for election to local bodies. What are the qualifications required to be a member of these bodies? First of all, he must be a citizen of India, 21 years of age. Besides that, he must be a registered voter, just as a common requirement, to be a member of Gram Sabha, and then he should not be a convict or have been disqualified by law of parliament or an undischarged insolvent, a bankrupt or someone who is not capable because he was a convict and is not allowed because of the government rules and panchayat rules. And lastly, he should not hold any office of profit under government. He should not be a person already, you can say, appointed on a government office, government institution. So there he should not be holding a office of profit. Then next is, we see the Gram Panchayat. The next heading, we can say, this is basically the first part of the three-tier system, and that is the Gram Panchayat. The members of the Gram Panchayat are elected through Gram Sabha. That is a proper assembly group. In essence of Gram Sabha functions as Gram Sabha functions as the general body of Gram Panchayat. So it is a part of Gram Panchayat, this Gram Sabha. All adult men, women in the village and registered voters are all members of the Gram Sabha, and that is how they select the people to be the members of Gram Panchayat. So as we have heard in the first line, Gram Panchayat members are elected by Gram Sabha, and all the people, the assembly of all the Gramins or all the village people, they are called in, they are members of Gram Sabha. That means men, women, all the elected, all the registered voters. Now, when we talk about Gram Panchayat, we talk about the composition. First of all, we have a Sarpanch in this particular authority group. He is the head of the Gram Panchayat, and in some states a Sarpanch is elected directly, and in others it is indirectly elected by the Gram Panchayat. Besides that, a number of members of panchayat is fixed by the state. That is, it all depends on the population and the size of the state. And the membership of a village panchayat is somewhere between 5 members to 31 members. In most of the village panchayat, it is somewhere around 5 to 9 members only. 1/3 of the seats of panchayat are reserved for women also, so that a proper representation can be given to the women or that particular section of the society. Seats are even reserved for the scheduled caste, tribes. As we know, it is just to have proper representation of each and every community, so that no particular community lags behind in the proper representation and getting all the benefits of the whatever the policy and rights are taken or decisions are taken in the panchayat. Then comes office bearers. The sarpanch and the vice sarpanch are honorary members. That means they are here just on as an honorary member, not as on the salary basis. They are not paid a salary. A paid secretary and to the panchayat and a treasurer, if the panchayat is large, are appointed by state government. So the state officials are not the sarpanch and the vice sarpanch, but rather the secretary and treasurer. Treasurer is only required if there is a very large, you can say, panchayat. Otherwise, they are not required. Only the secretary is required. But if required, then sarpanch and treasurer, secretary and treasurer, both of them get salaries from the state government. They will be state appointed people. Now we talk about the panchayat functions. They have various functions. The Gram Panchayat has various functions. Out of those first is the administrative functions. So we will be doing all of them in points as they are given in the book. All the administrative functions are all public works for the public welfare. They are to be taken, and how they are functioning and not functioning, everything has to be looked after by the Gram Panchayats. They can be of construction, repair, maintenance of village, roads, carts, tracks, village wells, other such things. Upkeep of the cremation and the burial grounds, even sanitation, health, setting up of health centers and dispensaries. This is all looked by the Gram Panchayat, because directly they are going to help the people of the village. It also takes care of the proper institutions for providing education to the children, then even giving irrigation facilities for the farmers or the peasants, registration of births and deaths in the village level, because they don't have such particular facilities there. So there they are provided these facilities only by the demand of the panchayats, Gram Panchayats. And maintaining a record of common village property and sale and purchase of the lands and grants. So that is an important part of the village life, and that is all maintained by the Gram Panchayats. So even a birth certificate, death certificate is also given or provided by the Gram Panchayat. Next we see social and economic functions. When we are talking about social and economic functions, means for the entire society as well as regarding the money generation. It is construction of guest houses, libraries, marriage halls, all is taken care about by the Gram Panchayat, whether not it should be taken care of or should be started, or if it is not there, should be constructed or not. And organizing regular village melas or fairs and exhibitions, which might have more of the trade benefits for most of the peasants and farmers. Next is planting of trees, parks, gardens and playgrounds for recreation, beautification, as well as getting more people attracted towards their particular whatever the resources they have. And then establishing fair price shops, cooperative credit societies, like the supermarkets we have here at a reasonable price, though they might be having cooperative societies and fair price shops for the benefit of the poor people, those who are in the villages. Then lastly we have judicial functions. These are discussed under Nyay Panchayats. So many a times children do ask me whether Nyay Panchayat is another part of the Gram Panchayats or another part of the Panchayati Raj system. No, it is just an integral part of Gram Panchayat only, village Panchayat only, when they are taking care of the justice or justice related issues. Then they are taken to the Nyay Panchayat, and one Nyay Panchayat can take care of cases belonging to 2 or 3 different Gram Panchayats. That is why they are called as a separate part, Nyay Panchayat. Otherwise they are very much associated with the workings of the Gram Panchayat only. They give the decision part, or they are related to the judiciary part. They ensure quick and inexpensive justice. You can understand it like a lok adalat or a simple village court. They can impose fine also, that is only up to 100 rupees. They cannot award a sentence like of that sending someone to the imprisonment, or lawyers are not allowed to appear before these panchayats. It is not going to be like a court case and lawyers fighting the case. Neither there is generally no appeal against the decision of a Nyay Panchayat, that if a person is not happy with the Nyay Panchayat decision, he is going to file a case to a higher court, because this is not a court system. This is something which is of Panchayati Raj system, and it is something which everybody has to abide to. However, under the Panchayats Act, sub-divisional magistrates and sub-judges of districts are empowered to hear certain cases which come to them only on appeal if the people are not satisfied, but they are not going to be heard in any court. They are going to be heard there only in presence of the sub-judge. And besides all these important things, we can have one last point, that is the state government or the state judicial service decides the jurisdiction of these panchayats. That means it's like a supervision. They decide what jurisdiction they are giving, what they should be giving or should not be giving. So that is all about the Gram Panchayat. That is the first part in the three-tier system of Panchayati Raj system. In the next module, we will be studying the next parts of the other parts of the Panchayati Raj system, the Panchayat Samiti and Zilla Parishad to be followed on. So with this, we come to the end of this module.